Hey y'all, it's Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and I'm just here for the good news, honey. We are back with another weekly episode of Galactic Gossip. Yes, indeed. So let's just dive right on into it. We have some energies that we are working through this week, and also some things that happened last week that will be continuing on. So I'm going to kind of talk a little bit, retrospect, and then talk about also this week. So let's talk right now about Pluto going retrograde April 25th and remaining retrograde until October 4th. And Pluto being retrograde, what this brings, and it all is different for everyone because it happens in everyone's chart individually, just different. But the overall collective energy of Pluto retrograde is really a time to tackle, go forward, and face your fears, face your anxieties, whatever insecurities that you may have. Pluto is the planet that rules power struggles, so there might be some evident power struggles that come up in certain areas of your life depending on where this is in your chart. It can also indicate a time for some spiritual healing. Really tap into your spiritual side and dive into really sitting with yourself and meditating or tapping into the spirit, some spiritual involvement, some type of spiritual movement, something that you're interested in getting into. This could also indicate possibly a new avenue to go down. Maybe you want to experience a new way of expressing your spiritual side or a new belief. The planet of Pluto is, it rules the sign of Scorpio, and Scorpio is transformation, it's death and transformation, it is the rebirth. So some things might be coming up as far as secrets. So this is the other end of it. So there's always, a high and a low, up and a down of everything. So with, along with you being more spiritual, being more in tune, you can also be looking more into psychology, getting into some therapy, really seeking that. You could also be needing to seek these things because some fears and some anxieties have come to the surface. Some insecurities have come up in your life, or you have recognized some insecurities within yourself based on situations that have manifested. You can also really be feeling the need or feeling the energies of some karma being released from your life, or something being in review regarding karma. And like I said before, it all depends on where this is happening in your chart individually. So Pluto will be retrograde until October 4th. So keep that in mind, that there is also a chance of like some type of deceptive, secretive energy kind of going on right now. So just be cognizant of that. Also, the moon today is in the sign of Virgo and is making a trine to Jupiter and Pluto. And as you all know, Pluto is in retrograde. So with Jupiter and Pluto being so close together, it's not an exact conjunction, but they are still conjunct because it's in that degrees, that really close degree is about 3 degrees away from each other. With that energy being there, Jupiter, when it's connected to anything, it expands it. It brings an abundance of it, over exaggeration of it even too. So with Pluto being in retrograde, and it's bringing up all these excessive things, whether it's fears, whether it's anxieties, it's deceit, secrets, it's bringing it in an overabundant way. It's just really highlighting things, bringing things to the surface that we keep hidden, because Scorpio and Pluto are the things that we keep hidden as well. Also keep in mind what I forgot to mention about Pluto and as well as Scorpio, that this could be a time for you to reevaluate your debts. Where is it that you are in debt, how you can clear your debt, because Pluto in Scorpio is the ruler of the 8th house in astrology, and that is karma, debt, other people's money that you obtain, other resources that you obtain through other people. So you could really be evaluating how you have accrued your debt, how you can clear your debt, also how you obtain your money, your resources that you obtain through other people. So all these things could be coming to surface at this time. And with the moon making this trine to Jupiter and Pluto, it's really bringing and abundance. You're really like feeling this on an internal level. It's really tapping into your emotions and your feelings. Like, okay, I feel like I really need to take care of this situation, or something could come to the surface, an understanding of something on an emotional level about some secret that has come up, whether you had like a secret debt or anything could come up to the surface. And it's coming up to the surface so you can work through those energies and move through them. So how to combat this type of Pluto retrograde energy that we're going to be really working through for the rest of the summer into the fall, what you really can do to help this is just acknowledge whatever it is, pay attention to it, acknowledge it, don't run away from it, you have to face it, and then figure out how to tackle this energy. So that's one way that you can work through it. It's a really great time to just really journal what it is that you're feeling, give your feelings and your thoughts in the situations acknowledgement, and also remember that feelings are just that, they're feelings. It does not mean that they're necessarily real, so keep that in mind as well. Let's see, we have Neptune making this square to Venus, and it started making the square to Venus at 20 degrees, and this will be here for about the rest of the month of May. So all of Taurus season, we are having this energy of Neptune and Pisces squaring Venus and Gemini. And also keep in mind, Venus goes retrograde next week or the week after, about a week and a half, on the 13th. So keep that in mind as well. Neptune brings illusions. Neptune is the dream state. It is the ruler of makeup and media and movies. Anything that is an illusion, that you can create an illusion. It's also a very creative sign. It's also tapping into your creativity, your imagination. It's also a very highly intuitive planet as well. But it's also a planet that is deemed a prison, a mental prison. It's the ruler of the 12th house. The 12th house is the ruler of the subconscious, the unconsciousness. So keep that in mind, that this planet that rules all these illusion-y type of energies and whatnot is making a square, which is a, I'm not going to say harsh, but it can bring a challenging aspect to Venus. And Venus is the planet of love. Venus is the planet of money, the planet of partnership. Also your values, it's your self-worth. So it's really bringing some deceptive energy as well on what it is that you truly value. It could bring some deception in your partnerships. It could bring forth some deception in money. So be very careful, depending on where this is happening in your chart, where you invest your money at this time, because you could really invest your money into something and have an expectation that you're going to get some type of return or some type of result from this, and you might have just been completely duped. Just throwing it out there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for y'all. So keep that in mind as well, that we do have Neptune squaring Venus for the remainder of May. So be aware. Just check, double check things. And also when it comes to partnerships, because Venus is love as well, and it's in Gemini. Venus in Gemini is very sociable as is, but it's also very flighty. And so keep in mind that what you could be interacting with on a social level, the information that you could be receiving from someone might not necessarily be what it is. Or you could really be receiving it and taking it in and not really receive it the way that is intended. So moving on, and this is all today. I haven't even got to the rest of the week. Okay, so moving on. Mercury is in Taurus, and that is conjunct the sun as of today. So Mercury in Taurus, grounding our thoughts, really paying attention and focusing on what it is that we value, our money, thinking of new ways of, manifesting these things, and just being really grounded in our thought process and our perceptions of things. And it's conjunct the sun, so it is really illuminating and highlighting and just bringing forth a higher energy of our thoughts. So it could really bring some anxiety. You can really have some anxious, some overactive thinking in regards to the Taurian, Venusian things, because that is your possessions, your money, your partnerships, your values, your self-worth, so on and so forth. So that is also feeding into this energy that we have. The moon that is in Virgo today is making an in conjunction to Mars in Aquarius. So this is just giving us action to just act, right? Act on an unconventional way, like just something that we have not expected. Like you really feel kind of reactive, just sporadic, I guess you can say is the word I'm looking for. So with the moon in Virgo, but it's in regards to the detail. You could really be paying attention to the detail. You could be very critical of your emotions right now. Try not to be critical of what it is that you're feeling. Recognize and understand that feelings are just that, feelings. They do not have to necessarily be real. Give it time, let things kind of flow until, the truth comes to light on various things. And do not allow the Mars and Aquarius energy to make you feel like you have to act or do or anything. Not much we can really do at this time anyway, but just keep in mind to just wait out the process. So moving on to tomorrow, the 4th, we have the moon moving into Libra, the sign of balance and order and fairness and love, marriage, contracts, partnerships. So the moon in Libra is making an in conjunction to Uranus. So you could really, or we all really could, have some energy to integrate, because Uranus is in Taurus at this time. So it's really shaking up our values, shaking things up in our lives to where we can take another look at what it is that we truly value, what it is that we want, as well as our possessions. Depending on where this is in your chart, like I always say, Uranus and Taurus is really bringing some things to surface to change the trajectory of the direction that we're going in certain areas. So it could be your possessions, it could be your business, it could be, promoting situations in your life to make you reevaluate what it is that you truly value. Your self-worth could be coming to the forefront. All of these things could be coming up, and with the moon in Libra, it's really highlighting partnerships. So integrating what it is that you value and all these changes that are being made and whatnot, and integrating that into your partnerships. Also integrating that into a possible contract that you could be having. Maybe there could be some type of change to a pre-existing contract that's going on right now, or that you already have. Possibly a change in the finances of it, or a change in the numbers, change in the agreement, because that is also with Libra, and with the moon being there, it could really affect how you feel. And then also the moon is opposite Chiron, so this is really allowing us to tap into our emotions so we can heal internally. So we can heal internally, so that way our inside can manifest on our outside, right? The inner reality creates the outer form. Always remember that. So it's very important that we allow these energies to actually heal through us. So you might feel triggered, you might feel certain things that could come up with this energy, but understand that it's happening for you. Nothing happens to you. Keep that in mind. So moving on Tuesday, I almost forgot where I was at. Moving on Tuesday, we have the moon making a grand trine to Venus, Mars, and the North Node. And the North Node moves into Gemini, and the South Node moves into Sagittarius. Now, this is going to be an interesting 18 months of energy with the North Node, okay? So I'm going to be bringing out a few videos, maybe one or two, I'm not sure, depending on how I do this. But I'm going to be bringing out some videos talking about the North Node by sign, and what to expect, and what your focus will be, and what will come of that over the next 18 months, because the North Node is an 18-month transit. We have been experiencing the North Node in the sign of Cancer, and the South Node in the sign of Capricorn. So that is the work and home life balance. That is really getting solid foundation, so that way we can project it in our outward appearance, as well as our career and our public image, like balancing that work and at home. Work in the foundation, what it is that you are creating down here, to where you can build upon it. That's what we have been really working on, and clearing things out that do not resonate, including jobs, certain public structures. And then you can see that collectively as well in society, that certain energies, because Capricorn rules the politics, it rules the government, it rules structures of all kinds. So that is a release of certain structures, and we're still going to be seeing that unfold because we still have some more energy to work through. But with the South Node moving from Capricorn into Sagittarius, we're possibly going to start seeing some things happen in regards to travel and education. And then with the North Node moving from Cancer into Gemini, we're going to see more working from home. We're going to see more small businesses coming up. We're also going to see our social gatherings and our environment is going to change because Gemini rules the environment, as well as relating. People tend to forget that Gemini, we're sociable. So that is a relating sign, the sign of relate. How do you not only relate to others, how do you relate to yourself? How do you relate to your environment? All of these things. So we are here to relate. That is the relating, the human experience is relating. So this is going to be happening over the next 18 months, and I will talk really in depth about that and let you know what is going to be here for your sign on a separate video. But just keep in mind that on the 5th, which is Tuesday, we will have the North Node moving into Gemini and the South Node will be moving into Sagittarius, and that will be making a grand trine with the Moon and Venus. So this is just going to be showing us a foreshadowing of what's to come in regards to our values, our money, our possessions, our partnerships. Also with the grand trine to Mars as well, just showing the action, giving us the insight, because Mars is in Aquarius. It's that instant download, the instant understanding, that godlike knowledge of how to start moving into this new energy. And then we have the Moon also making a square to Pluto and Jupiter conjunction. So some things are just going to automatically fall away because Pluto, like I said, is in retrograde. Jupiter is an overabundance of that energy whenever it connects to something like that, and they're very close in conjunction. So it's going to be bringing a close and an end to things that do not resonate. And with Pluto being there and being retrograde, it's going to show us where we have been giving our power away, and also give us the energy, the courage, and the ability to claim back our power, right? Because Pluto rules the power struggles, right? So keep that in mind, and that's going to be a really, on this day, on Tuesday, is going to be like a shift, an instant shift. And you're going to start feeling it because we have all these other supportive energies that are surrounding us. But just know, over the next 18 months, destiny is changing a little bit. That's the North Node. Keep watch for that video. Moving on to Wednesday, we do have the Moon moving into Scorpio, and you'll be making an opposition to Uranus in Taurus. So this can bring some challenges in regards to our values and to, what it is that we are trying to create. As well as our money. And with the Moon in Scorpio, it could, and also with Pluto being retrograde, some things just might fall off. You might have some power struggles. You might have some issues with some debt, clearing up debt, or some secret debt that you had no idea even existed could come to the surface, and you'd be like, "What? I owe what?" That might happen. Is possible. So just keep in mind of that. But also, this Moon is going to be making it in conjunction to Chiron. So you're going to be feeling the wounds in regards to your self-identity, because Chiron is in Aries, and just being able to heal through that and work through that energy so you can clear it. This is a lot of clearing things that do not resonate with this new path that we are going into. So we also have the full moon in Scorpio on the 7th, which is Thursday. So that is about release. That is death and rebirth. That is transformation. That is the butterfly coming out of its cocoon. It's in retrograde. So being shown what it is that you need to release and taking action on it. Setting your intentions on what needs to die and do not need to be reborn. And also recognizing what parts need to be transformed, not necessarily completely let go of, but what needs to be transformed, what needs to be revamped. That's the full moon in Scorpio, and I will also have a separate post or video in regards to that as well. So keep watch for that. But with this moon in Scorpio, it will be making a trine to Neptune, Neptune is in Pisces, so it's in his home sign, and it could really bring some type of illusion to your emotion, some type of illusion to the things that are manifesting. It could be some really, I'm not going to say heavy, but some really intense emotions with this full moon, because not only is it making a trine to Neptune, but it's also making a sextile to Pluto and Jupiter yet again. So once again, Pluto retrograde in conjunction with Jupiter, deception, some things that are hidden coming to the surface, with the moon being in Scorpio and the ruling sign of the planet Jupiter. Just don't expect anything. Just allow whatever it is to come up, because it's happening for us. It's not happening to us. Just allow. It's easier said than done, I know. Taurus, Venus and Taurus, Taurus rising, I'm fixed. Okay, so moving on. Moon in Scorpio also making a square to Mars in Aquarius. So this full moon is not only doing all of this, bringing forth all these illusions and this deception and these secrets and these possible things regarding your debt or regarding your karma, but it's also making a square, bringing more challenge to the action, to the initiative. Mars is in Aquarius, so instant understanding, like instant download, feeling anxious, feeling like agitated because of it. Meditate. Journal. Reach out and talk to someone. It is May. It is Mental Health Month. Reach out and talk to someone if you need a listening ear this month and every month. Okay, Neptune is also making a square to the Sun and Mercury conjunction. Not a square, a sextile. So instant understanding, instant downloads, instant, grounding of the thoughts. So there's going to be some support there, but also be very cognizant that it's Neptune. And depending on how this is aspected in your chart, it can either bring insight or illusion. It all depends. So moving on into Friday, we have the moon moving into Sagittarius, making a trine to Chiron. So that is really just illuminating some more wounds in regards to your philosophies, your thoughts, as well as possibly some travel. Something could come out in the media in regards to some travel restrictions, different things like that, as well as Pluto-Jupiter conjunction trining Mercury and Taurus. So that could be something dying away, something transforming in regards to your thoughts, what you thought about your values, your possessions, even speaking into your partnerships. And Mars will then also still be making that trine to the North Node in Gemini. So, just being agitated and ready to take action on your new direction, on your new destiny, the new trajectory that we're going in for the next 18 months. Last but not least, on Saturday, things are kind of like slowing down a little bit. We have the moon in Sagittarius making an opposition to Venus. So feeling like you really want to connect with people, you really want to talk, you really want to adventure, you really want to go somewhere. So keep that in mind. Also with Mars and Aquarius making that trine to the North Node in Gemini is still going to be there, very present. So that is all that I have for you all for Galactic Gossip for this week, May 3rd through May 9th. Please reach out if you are interested in getting a detailed analysis of your birth chart. Also, if you would like to know how any of these energies are working for you in your chart individually, please reach out. Keep watch for my videos on the North Node in Gemini as well as Sagittarius. I will also be coming out with the Venus retrograde post, a Pluto retrograde post. I haven't put it out, but I'm going to put that out because we're going to be retrograde for 5 months with Pluto. Then also Saturn will be going retrograde this month as well, and then Jupiter will be going retrograde. So we will have Venus, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter all retrograde, while the North Node has moved into a new sign for the next 18 months. So there's going to be a lot of changes that are happening over this time, over the summer. And all of this, everything doesn't go back direct until the fall, around the fall, like after the summer. The only thing that goes back direct will be Venus, and that's in June. So I will talk more in detail about all of these retrogrades, as well as how all of this energy could resonate for most of you by your sign. I do whole astrology, so it will be by your rising sign. And just keep watch of all of that. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, as well as Facebook. And yeah, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please reach out if you need someone to talk to. Bye.